And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for Tuesday night's episode of The Flash, Season 5, Episode 18, and basically the pilot episode of Nora Allen, aka XL. So, this episode was directed by, of course, Caitlin Snow herself, Daniela Panabaker, and I think a lot of us were all waiting to see her directorial debut, because we all know that certain actors from this Flash have been doing some directing, like Tom Cavanaugh, and now Daniela Panabaker is also have joined the team. So let's see what we have here. So this episode that she directed focuses on Nora's, basically her, I guess, her past, future stuff. You know, we got to see Nora in 2045, you know, as a CI. It pretty much shot just like the first episode of The Flash. You know, how Barry, you know, did his science stuff, and then he got his powers, and it was pretty much like that. So we got to see Nora, we got to see one of her friends, which her friend, by the way, was one of the coolest characters that I think they ever introduced in this show so far. And we got to see Iris, and we got to meet the villain of the episode, which was Godspeed. And Godspeed is a character in the comics. He's kind of one of the brand new characters. He's the almighty speedster. He's like the king of speedsters. His speed is pretty much gold, but in this one it's kind of white. So Nora basically has to discover basically how to stop him. She finds out that she gets zapped by the guy, and spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. She gets zapped by the guy, and then she gets powers. So she thinks she gets powers from him. Turns out, we all know what really happens, because if you've been watching The Flash this season, she finds that it fried the chip that was in her head or neck or whatever it was that, and her powers woke up basically, and she was starting to use her powers again. Then she found out that her mother pretty much lied to her. We got to see the moments where, you know, her decide she needs help to figure out how to stop this guy. And then she goes and turns to Reverse Flash, who's in prison, who's been in prison for a long time. And, you know, in this world, there is no speedsters. You know, Flash is not there. Jesse Quick's not there. No speedsters are there anymore. Probably because of the crisis on Infinite Earths, perhaps. Or the big crisis that made the Flash disappear in the first place. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. While that all happens, we go back to the past, where everybody's still kind of pissed off that Nora pretty much lied to, you know, Barry and Iris, and especially Barry, who's taking it really hard that his own daughter, his own flesh and blood, will lie to him about teaming up with the Reverse Flash, the person he hates the most. You know, that's like if, oh, I don't know, Superman had a kid and started teaming up with Lex Luthor. You know, be really pissed off. I mean, finally Barry Allen is finally learning his lessons not to trust certain people, but I think he needs to calm down a little bit too much, because it's still his kid, and he still should just hear her out before he commits judgment, and, you know, on her. He didn't even hear her in the beginning. He just locked her up in the pipeline, and then him and Iris are at odds with each other, so that's pretty cool. So the episode itself was a good episode. I have to admit, we got to see more about Nora and her, and the way she is. The way she is because she has two different personalities. A personality of being a scientist, a personality of being the Flash, just like her father. And she's also kind of whiny like her mother. Which, by the way, we got to see older Iris, which wasn't really, they didn't really do any makeup with her, which is kind of weird, which they should have. Because this is like supposed to be like 40 years in the future. You figured they would have made her a little bit more older, but I guess they didn't. They just gave her a wig and said that she was older. Go figure. I don't know. Like I said, the episode was good. I liked it. The one problem I think I had with this episode was the fact that I don't know why they decided to use Godspeed. I just don't know why. I mean, it's a cool character, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's a character they shouldn't use to set up the next season, you know? It's been a while since we had speedsters as the villain of the Flash, and I think we all missed it by now. I think it's time to get back into it. I think we should get some speedsters as the villain for maybe next season. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Nora should have fought a villain that was, you know, a little bit less menacing. Even the person who played Godspeed. The costume looked great. No, I'm not complaining about that. The way he got his powers was kind of weird because it was the Velocity 9, if you remember that from back in Season 2, when Caitlin invented that drug to give to Jay Garrett to get his powers back. He stole it. He wanted to make it stronger. Nora had to stop him, and he just kept using it to give him speed. So basically, that guy wasn't really Godspeed. It was just some guy who wanted the power of Godspeed, but go figure. Because remember, there was no speeches in the future, so... I don't know. I just feel like this... They should have just saved it, maybe for the season finale, to set up maybe the season 6 or maybe even 7. Who knows? But yeah, Godspeed didn't feel like a true villain, and especially because Nora. Why would you give Nora one of the toughest speedsters to fight? I felt that very weird. You figure Barry would be the first one to fight him, and all that stuff, but whatever. But like I said, I think she did a good job with this episode, minus, the whole Godspeed stuff. I still think she did a good job. I hope she does direct more, maybe in the future. But, yeah, I have to be completely honest. I thought the episode was great, but, the villain itself was just, okay, he's there, but I needed more, I needed more from the villain. Not that he didn't do enough, it's just that he didn't give me that, oh, he's that powerful. He's about to kill Nora or whatever. No, Nora just beat him. She had her guide. She had Reverse Flash tell her what to do. She even got to go into the time vault, see all the costumes, and of course she got to see a message from her father from the past. He was talking to her, like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be there for you, to train you, all that. I love you, and it kind of went dark. It looked like he was at a battle, so that could be a future episode of maybe the crossover, or maybe a future episode of The Flash where he will disappear, but who knows? We just have to wait and see. I still think Nora's going to change that. Maybe she disappears, and yeah, maybe that's going to happen where Barry doesn't have a daughter. Maybe in the future it messes up where she actually has a son or something, or twins. Because she's supposed to be part of the Tornado Twins, but, well, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. We have 4 more episodes left until the season finale, so, it's going to be crazy. So, congratulations to Daniela Panabaker. Great job with the episode, and, let's see what we can get from, from The Flash moving forward. So, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, and what did you think about Daniela Panabaker's directorial debut about it? Did you like her style, how she directed it? Did you like what she did with the story-wise, or how she directed it? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you very much, and have a good day.